podcast with Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is season 5, episode 2, episode number 182. How is it going?
Good.
Just great. Just great, period. I don't know.
Tomorrow we enter into the 7th month of 2020.
Oh, I know.
I know. My brain still can't compute that, like, July is tomorrow. Like, I look at a calendar, I see it, I know that's what's happening, but like and then I go away from the calendar and I immediately forget. It's like my brain just like, nope.
It's crazy.
I categorically reject.
Yeah. I saw this really funny tweet today. It was like, if you're reading this, congratulations. You have survived the first 6 months of what they call 2020. Like, oh, no, you have survived 50% of what they've called 2020. Yeah. And I'm like, 50%. We are 50% through this year. It has been completely batshit crazy. I don't even know.
Well, in good news, probably the best random thing in the entire world happened to me today.
Oh.
What is that?
You found out that Kellyanne Conway's daughter is a Trump-hating lefty who is really into Black Lives Matter? Because that happened to me today, and it was awesome.
That's great. It's more wholesome than that. So I got up and I went for a run this morning, which was fine, whatever. Running with masks, I don't like it, but, you know, we've got to stay healthy. We've got to be outside somehow, whatever. I play by the rules. But while I was in the park, I saw a dog walker, but he had like a comic amount of dogs. Like, this man had 15 dogs. He had more dogs than I could like count, like just looking at him. Like, he's spread out half of the road, and it's, you know, it's like the paths in Prospect Park are like almost the width of a full highway. Like, they're wide. And he and his dogs took up a third of it. They were all different sizes, and like they were all kind of looking in the same direction, and then they weren't.
Oh my God.
It was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. It brought me so much joy. I think I can get through the rest of the year just on the amount of joy that brought me.
That's amazing.
I wish, and it was like, because I had my phone and like my armband was running, so I couldn't get it out and like take a picture, because I was like, no one is ever going to believe that this is a thing. Like, when I tell you it was at least 15 dogs, it was at least 15 dogs. It was so many dogs. And it was just one man. There's no hands.
Now we need to hear from Kayla. We need to know has she ever done that?
It's the best. He has the best job in the entire world.
It looks like Kayla's saying that she takes them one at a time.
Smart.
Yeah.
I feel like that's straight out of a movie.
It was straight out of a movie. I was like looking for like cameras. I was like, this can't be real.
It could have been.
It could have been.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
So good. Oh, it was so good.
Going back to the July Pro, as Ro pointed out, with the month we're about to enter, JP said, now we have to survive Jason. And I literally never realized that July, August, September, October, November is Jason.
Oh.
Whoa.
I know.
Huh.
I guess you're going to have
to...
Jason D. Jason's D episode title. There we go. Oh God! Ew.
Jason's D.
No, will we have snow in the D?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was a cum joke. It was gross. Nobody got it but me, but that's okay.
No, I got it.
Oh.
I think we're on the same wavelength.
I was stalling for a good comeback, and it just wasn't coming to me. Oh, but there you go. Just keep talking, and eventually you get there. There it is done.
Kayla says her roommate does a bunch at once, like maybe 6 max dogs. That is
walking,
not Jason's D.
Dogs.
Yeah,
walking of the dogs. Get your mind out of the gutter, people.
There you go. Where were you guys like a minute ago?
I don't know. It just takes a minute to get going.
Fair enough. Anyway, guys, how's it going? This episode will be out, I think, I don't know, this week, hopefully. So I am going to I'm going to New York for the 4th of July. I don't know how this quarantine thing is going to work out. I am bringing enough things to be prepared to be there for 2 weeks if I have to be. Absolutely.
Bring some earplugs too, just
What?
in case. Bring some earplugs too. Fireworks.
Well, we're going to Long Island because Zach is there now with my parents for his summer vacation week. And so we need to drive there to pick him up at the end of this week. And my nephew's birthday is July 5th. It's his first birthday. So we're going to go up there at the end of the week, go to the birthday party. Then the plan was to come home. I don't know how that's going to work. So it's a good thing that we're taking next week off because I have no idea where I'm going to be. I would like to follow the rules, but I would also like to be in the one house that I'm supposed to be in and then come directly home without having any contact with my North Carolina germs anywhere. So we will see.
Good luck.
I know. I'm a little nervous. Like I said, we'll see. A little nervous. But what are you guys doing for the 4th of July?
Nothing.
Oh, that's right. Nobody can do anything because we're in a pandemic. What a stupid question. No wonder our shows have been.
If anybody's got any plans, please let me know. I would love something to do.
No wonder our shows have been so much shorter lately. Nobody's doing anything, so there's nothing to talk about.
Well, I mean, I have 2 more days of work, and then I'm taking a week off, and I get Friday off, and then I'm taking the following week off, which I'm very excited about. But the plans are still kind of like, I don't know. Like, we had this whole thing sort of like planned, and then, I don't know. Like, campgrounds are really, thank you, God. I like my earrings too.
Yeah, got in the chat. We're live with the Hangout Dollar. The Hangout Dollar. We're live with the Hangout level patrons tonight. If you'd like to become a patron and join us once a month for these exclusive Hangout shows, you'll get to hear all the stuff that gets cut out. And sometimes we get really drunk and have French people on a bed, and it's crazy.
It's true. Although that won't happen again for a while because hashtag COVID. But
okay, shh, you're ruining it. Sometimes we get really drunk and have stuffed animals on a bed.
Yep, we'll figure something out. Don't worry. Don't worry. We always think of something.
Yeah, we always do. But anyway, if you'd like to be a patron and join us, patreon.com/Jay and Jack. Anyway, Shandy, sorry about that.
Yeah, so I don't know. We were gonna go to like all these. We had kind of a route planned and like everything's sort of booked. Like we don't want to stay at a hotel. Don't feel comfortable with that. Many of the campgrounds are booked, and then there are other places that we could camp. But then we're kind of like, what if? Honestly, I just need a week off from work.
I know.
And like a week away from screens. So like we could just stay here and do like, like an overnight camping trip in a place not necessarily even too far away from here as things become available. Or, if we're camping at like just places in the woods, that aren't like established campgrounds, then like I'm much more sort of down for that if it's just like, you drive there one day and then come back 1 or 2 days later versus like camping for like a week in a place with like no shower or anything. So,
right.
Yeah.
Like
So we'll
shared bathroom situation. Like, no.
I could do the shared bathroom situation, but I'm thinking like if there's no bathroom at all, like that's fine for me. That's fine. That's fine with me for like a day or two. But like I don't necessarily want to spend 10 days without a bathroom. Yeah, so we'll see. So I don't know like what we're doing. Like originally we were gonna leave like on Friday morning, like early and Adam. But now I'm like, whatever. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys know in 2 weeks.
We're all gonna figure out where we're gonna be in 2 weeks from now.
I will probably still be here. Hopefully I will see that dog walker again.
Well, as of Friday, guys, July 3rd, the day that this podcast should come out, Hamilton on Disney Plus. Super excited. Did you see the trailer they released today with the first half of Satisfied?
No.
It's really
I
good.
will have to. I will check it out. I also need to find myself a Disney Plus login. I think I'm going to steal my parents. Shh! Don't tell Disney. They own everything. They're probably listening right now.
That's a good point. Anyway, okay. So 4th of July talk went pretty quick, which is cool. Chat, are you guys doing anything fun for 4th of July? Let us know. So my mind is still blown about this Jason thing, honestly. Like, how did I never know that? That seems like something that I would know. Okay, so...
It's not numbers.
That's true.
If it was a crazy number thing, you would have been on it.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Anyway, so last week we talked about how we want to start this new thing, Broad Topics, tentatively the working title, where we do a live Zoom once a month, and we really let listeners drive the discussion on topics of what's going on in the world, and we will do them. We'll start once a month, and if they become actually pretty popular, then, we'll add more as we get closer to the election, and then, we'll see how it goes. But, we were talking about it over the week, and we decided that we are going to actually do it on a different day than our Tuesday recordings, just because I have a feeling that these episodes could probably be a good hour long, and that does not help me keep my promise to Amanda for a pre-midnight bedtime. So what do you guys think about, and I will put out a poll, whether it's on maybe because Shandy, you're really good at the Instagram. You do the polls, right, on our Insta?
I've done polls.
Okay.
I have not, so it's Shandy.
It's Shandy.
Don't let her downplay it.
So maybe
it's all Shandy doing the magic.
Maybe over the next couple of days, we can put out a poll on the best day for our listeners. The only difficult thing is that Wednesdays are out if Survivor comes back. I was thinking perhaps maybe like Sunday evenings at like 8 o'clock Eastern time, 8 to 9, and then we're done and everybody can go watch their HBO shows that come out, aka like Perry Mason, which is what I've been watching. Which I know is kind of, I don't love it, but I also really want to know what happens. I've got this weird love story with that right now going on. But I don't know. It's up to you guys. I know Fridays are out, so maybe we can try to narrow down with the listeners the best day and time. It'd only be once a month to start, and we can figure that out, because we would like to have the maximum amount of participants, especially if you are a listener who doesn't participate as much. We would love to have you come on. You don't have to talk right away, but like I said, it's about having a conversation with everyone, a broad conversation, if I may. I know it was Amanda's title idea, so so
if you hate it, blame her.
No. No. Okay, now I sound like an asshole. Somebody else talk. Fine. Fuck you guys. You're the worst.
No,
know something. Next time I'm going to keep my information about Kellyanne Conway's daughter to myself.
No, that's good. I'm when we go to a potty break, I will Google it. I haven't really been on the interwebs today, so I'm very behind on what's going on in the world.
And for the record, Ro really likes the title.
Oh, good.
Well, if Ro likes it, then we gotta keep it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, there's a whole lot of people that have pointed out. I've done polls. Kayla. Greg had it. Wait, hold on. Yeah, Greg had it. Kayla had
it. Different type of poll, guys.
JP wants to know, will Amanda's neighbors be providing fireworks above her? Boom, boom, ah.
No.
I got that boom,
quiet.
boom, ah.
Quiet. I think he's been somewhere else most of the quarantine. It's been pretty quiet. Occasional very bad music, but also one for their poor taste in music.
Fair. Well, you can judge somebody for their poor taste in music.
Internally, I judge. I would never outwardly judge.
I screen capped something to share in the Facebook group, and I don't know if I ever did or not, to be honest, but it was the top 10 bands of all time. And I don't know if you can see this, but it says, it is impossible to rank them all. Number 1 is the Beatles. Really funny.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Also, shout out to Nick for probably my favorite. I sent you guys this. My favorite thing that he's maybe ever said. He said, on December 31st, when the ball drops, don't yell Happy New Year. Yell Jumanji because we need to leave the game. And has somebody whose child, Zachary, is obsessed with the new Jumanji, the sequel, the one that, just came out back in December or whatever. He loves that one. I feel like I've gotten a pretty good education on Jumanji. He's also obsessed with Jurassic Park. We watched the first Jurassic Park last week like 3 times.
It's so good.
It is really good.
Yeah. I've not seen the other ones, but the first one is fucking fantastic.
Yeah. I haven't seen any of the new ones. The Jurassic World with
so the first Jurassic
Shandy
World
from Parks and Rec, who's which of the Chris's it's escaping me.
The first Jurassic World is actually really good. The second Jurassic World is awful, like really shitty.
Big blockbuster action movies that tracks that the second one isn't as good as the first.
I don't know, man. No, that's actually not true. John Wick 2 is much better than the first.
That's true. This is more your genre than mine, so I defer. If you say that my statement is incorrect, I trust you.
I am the person who has made a career of taking a Monday every other Monday off in the summertime to day drink and watch shitty action movies.
So, as the resident expert.
Oh, man. Good times. Okay. On that note, guys, does anybody else have anything before we move on? We're not going to have a new episode next week. So the next time we record will be Tuesday, July 14th. Amanda will join Shandy and me in the 36 Club. How old are we now? 36? Are we 36?
If we must.
So Amanda's going to join us. Then Rose's birthday is a couple of days later. So we're going to do a Zoom. So stay tuned for the link for that. That will be out. I will send that out on all the usual channels. Patreon, Facebook, Twitter. Be on the lookout for that. We hope everybody want to join us. And maybe that can be kind of like a test run for our first broad topics. Like a somewhat pilot, if you will, but we will still have the usual zaniness of our live shows. Greg, controversial opinion. I like John Wick 1 the most. I think they just kept getting better and better with each one. Like, I really love John Wick 2. It's so good. I don't know. I just really do. Got wants to know, will there be togas? Okay, so that is the question for the birthday girls. Will we be wearing togas on our July 14th Zoom?
I think it's going to depend on how humid it is. If it is as humid that day as it is in New York right now, I don't want to wrap myself in a giant sheet. I am just hot as it is.
It's July, so it's probably going to be hot. I'm okay with figuring out a toga.
Okay. I'll think about it.
All you have to do is figure out the top.
Yeah, you have to figure out the top.
And there really is only not even half of the top.
It's true. You don't even have to go full toga. You can just do a pillowcase.
Mm-hmm. You never go full toga.
Okay, fine. You've convinced me. We can go togas.
We'll figure out our togas. We'll have a Zoom toga birthday party for Amanda and Ro. And Dan, today is Dan's birthday as we're recording this. Happy birthday to Dan. We will also wear a toga for you. Greg says toga on top. Toga's on top. Oh my God. I feel like, Greg, I'm going to ask you to pull a Mandy and remind me that we need to call the toga episode Togas on Top, but also remind me why we're calling it that.
Yes.
So that one's a little more, I feel like we can connect those dots. And I trust future us to know what that means.
There's also a difference between 2 weeks from now and literally 1 year from now.
1 year. Oh dear.
Oh, I know.
Oh dear.
I know. Okay, I have a funny story. I might cut it out, but so Alex is back in daycare, and they're doing their summer camp or whatever now, and they got approval to like do it, and Zach is gonna go for 2 weeks when he comes back, and then only for 2 weeks though, and then the last 2 weeks before school starts again, he's gonna do like the grandparents tour again, and then we're gonna try to see if there's like a staycation that we can do at the end of July for us somewhere or something. Like, who knows, like a month from now could be the same or different, who knows. So anyway, but Alex is Alex, so he bit one of his friends, and Jay picked him up and was like in the car, Alex, why did you bite your friend? And he goes, probably the virus. Yeah. Jay was like, you little shit. Okay, fair enough. He's like, it's not a zombie virus, Alex.
Hedging his bets. He's like, probably.
Yeah. Jay said he literally
for sure.
Jay keeps reenacting it because he thought it was like the funniest thing. He's like, probably the virus.
That's got to be a hard moment as a parent, because it's like, you don't want to laugh. I mean, you want to laugh, but like you feel like you probably shouldn't, because then the kid feels like they've won. And it's like you've missed the opportunity for a teaching moment. But like, holy crap, that is funny.
So funny. Because he said he had the face and everything to go with it. Like, I don't know.
Oh my God, the kid's going to be a comedy writer when he grows up.
I know. And he does these things like he'll ask you for something and he'll be like with this big face like, can I have a popsicle? Like weird face, weird face. Like
Oh, he's the best.
It's so funny. Jay and I were talking before we started recording, like the way that he communicates versus the way that Zach communicates is so different. You know, where Zach will just straight up like ask for something, and if he doesn't get it the first time, he'll just start whining. Whereas Alex will ask for something, if he doesn't get it the first time, he'll just make funny faces until you laugh at him and you have to give in. And like that is what happened today. He wanted popcorn tonight, and we were like, no, it's time to take a shower. It's time to get clean. Like it's late. Like we don't know popcorn. And he literally broke us down with the asking and the silly faces and the like, please, I love you, please. Popcorn? Like he just everything like he does that. And it was like, ask daddy, ask mommy. And I was like, all right, I guess we're doing this because child knows how to ask for something.
Oh, that's adorable.
Oh dear.
Well, Zach has his cute things too that he does. Zachary is always my snuggle buddy. He will never turn you down for a snuggle, whereas Alex will be like, no. Why would I snuggle with you? Anyway, JP says, I used to love when my coworker would get those calls at work about his son. Hello? Yes, this is Ryan's dad. Who did he bite now? Oh, good times. Going back to our togas on top. Maybe I'll just call this episode Togas on Top. I don't know. JP said, I'm calling this one Jason's D. I did all my Zoom interviews in a jacket, tie, and boxers.
Classic.
Anyway, all right. Okay, so does anybody else have anything before we move on?
I finished the book that I was reading last week. It was so good.
Yeah.
Wow, you get through books so fast.
It was like a week ago.
I mean, this is the third book that I've read since COVID. So, thank you. But that's like a book a month.
That's good. I think that's really good.
I would have thought that I would have... I mean, I think we all thought that like we would have all this time. Whatever. Yeah. But it was really, really good. And then I decided to start The Power, which Tasia sent me. I have a stack of books from the library, but they're giving me 6 renewals,
Nice.
which is like twice as many as you usually get. So I can just hold on to these for a little bit. Sorry to anyone who wants to check them out. Hopefully that doesn't make me an asshole, but
Are there any of them new releases that would like make you the asshole?
not like new. Some of them are definitely not. No, we're good. We're good. No. And actually, I got an email today from the library saying that The Hate You Give is also ready for me, which I don't even remember reserving or putting a hold on. But
Nice.
I want to read it, so there
Add
we
it to
go.
the stack.
Yes. Oh, and also I wanted to add, I think that my hair has like pushed through the really awkward stages of the no haircut COVID situation, and it's like kind of working
I
for
think
me
it
now.
looks good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thanks. It was really not great for a while there, but it pushed through. I'm very proud of it.
I'm very glad that I got a haircut before we have to shut everything down again.
That's true. This week is going to be, I'm going to make an appointment to get a haircut. Because now that I have a bike, I can bike to my hairdresser, which kind of
Nice.
sucks. 'Cause I get like curly hair, like he usually does, like a blowout. So it's nice and straight. And then I'm going to put like a stupid helmet on. But like, I'm not going anywhere. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But in constructive conversation, I finished Little Fires Everywhere.
I saw that. Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot to. Yeah.
Well, I had forgotten about it too until you mentioned that you finished your book.
Oh, so excited. And we can't like really talk about it yet, but I'm excited to talk about it. Maybe we can talk about it offline. I don't know. Also, I started watching the TV show, and I've gotten through 3 episodes, and like I'm having a hard time.
What, Little Fires Everywhere?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Okay, what if I pledged to read it before I might be quarantined for 14 days in New York. So what if I pledged to finish it before we record next so we can talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, if you can, like,
Yeah.
if you end up,
If I can't do it in 2 more weeks, I mean, come on. Anyway, sorry, TV show.
but yeah, no, the TV show. I just like. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily like objectively bad. It's just that there are certain things that were changed from the book that I like, and other things that were changed from the book that I'm like, not a huge fan of how you changed like that important relationship and those important relationship dynamics.
Oh, interesting. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
'Cause I think that's kind of that was the interesting thing for me because, you know, I kind of subscribe to the camp of like, I prefer to read the book before watching the series or the movie or whatever it's being adapted to.
Yeah.
But given that I started the book after the series came out, you kind of know something about it. So I'm reading with that in mind, sort of knowing, like assuming who Kerry Washington is, assuming who Reese Witherspoon is. So you're kind of trying to like put them onto the characters as you read, which I don't think I like to do, but it was just kind of unavoidable for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it did kind of affect my ability to fully realize the characters in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess like I had seen, I even have the book with the cover from the TV show, but I like did not really think about that at all. And I mean, without giving anything away, because this is immediately obvious, but like in the book, I'm assuming that, God, and now I'm of course going to forget her name. The mother who's the photographer.
Yeah. No, you're
Mia.
You're about to say the same thing I've been thinking. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, like in the book, like she's presumably white, and there isn't a racial aspect to it. There's just a class aspect to it, to that relationship. And in the series, obviously she's Black, and that part of it comes up a lot. And I actually I like that they did that. I think that there's a lot to talk about there, and it maybe makes it even more obvious than just having it be like this clash of class between them.
Right.
But then there are other changes that they made where I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't really think that really works. Or, I mean, and maybe it would work if I hadn't read the book first. So anyway, well, yeah, we'll have to talk more.
Okay. Yeah. I want to try and start those series maybe this weekend. I have Friday off of work and Daniel is technically working. So maybe I'll just curl up and watch some TV and
Rose said that she did not love the series, and Laura said that she just started it today and asked why Ro didn't like it. Ro responded with, I liked it, but I didn't love it. Don't want to spoil, but I think I like the book better, probably for similar reasons that Shandy just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I would be really curious to know. So, yeah. And I'll have to try to get back to it and actually finish it, because it sucks to only watch 3 episodes. But it's like, if I like, usually I'll watch like 1 episode of TV a night. And that isn't really like standing out to me as like, oh, I really want to watch this. Whereas, when I finished the book, it was like, oh, no, I get to watch the TV show. And then a couple episodes in, I was like, well.
Right. Especially, it's like, yes, the whole like, oh, quarantine, we have infinite amount of hours to watch TV. It's like, but it's also summertime and you don't want to be cooped up inside watching TV. So like your TV time is valuable. And it's like,
totally,
I totally get that if it doesn't grab you, that time is better served watching something that does.
Totally. Yeah.
Rose said, when you podcast about it, I can contribute if you'd like to. Absolutely. Of course we want you to contribute to it.
We always want your opinion.
Yes. I'm dying to know your thoughts. I was tempted to like message Ro and see like right now, literally what her thoughts were. And then I was like, that not only is that rude to everyone else if I'm distracting myself, but also we should talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
But yes, Ro, I want to know. Ro. Oh God. Yeah. Ro, I want to know what you think.
All right.
That could be a new segment on the broadcast. Ro, I want to know what you think.
We need a theme song. We need someone to write it.
Right. It's got like a ring to it.
I want to know. Ro, I want to know. All right. That's all I got. Anyway, okay. Moving on. So I had found a couple of things for today, but I think the one thing that I have to go with has to be the only thing that's probably really great for large crowds or crowds like this. And that would be, it's another Reddit thread, and it was Ask Reddit, and it was, what conspiracy theory has a high chance of being true? Now, I don't know if we all want to take...
You write this.
Do we want to take our break now and get some refills on the drinks and then get into this? Or do we want to just power through? It's up to you guys. Going back to the show while waiting for the chat to catch up, Kayla said, I liked it a lot. There was a lot of uncomfortable tension that at first I wasn't a fan of, but then realized it was important to be uncomfortable, and I think that was purposeful in the show.
I agree with...
Like they did that on purpose, the racial tension, the socioeconomic tension, etc.
I agree with you, but I don't think all of it was... Yeah. Some of it was too much.
All right, here we go. This first one is for Amanda. The constant fireworks being set off every night for the past month in the United States is to get the general public adjusted to the sounds of explosives / artillery / gunfire.
That could totally be true.
We are off to such a great start.
Yeah. Nothing surprises me anymore. That could totally be true.
The next one is for Nick. Wow, 2 Nick shout-outs in one show. The Democrats and Republicans are working together to spread propaganda that you can only be one or the other. Like the idea that third parties are way too small to even have a chance of being elected for president or for Congress, and therefore should be ignored. It makes sense because no one wants to waste their vote, so they won't vote for third parties. Third parties then have no power. That means Democrats and Republicans don't have to compromise with each other because they only have one competition, which is with each other.
But that's like straight up true, actually.
Yeah.
I know,
really
right?
Conspiracy theory. It's just kind of logic.
Yeah.
It's like the only thing that both parties can agree on is that they should be the only two parties.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we should have a multi-party system, but then we would have to do it
100%.
different. We'd have
100%.
We'd have to. I mean, it would have to be different. Like, it would have to be like coalition based, maybe, or something. Just because we are so
what?
Right.
we are so slow to change.
Americans are so instant gratification. Like, we just want to have a third party candidate run for president and we're done. It's like, well, you have to build it over time and you have to build it starting on the local level. So it takes too long to build a third party. Americans just don't have that kind of patience.
But the system really is set up against any sort of third party.
It is.
And
It absolutely is set up against. And it'd be great. I mean, we're so diverse in this country. It'd be nice if we could set up a government where people had to work together, where theoretically right now they're supposed to be working together, but like, you know, just with
Yeah. But also for Nick, like, third shout out, libertarianism isn't really like a third party. It's just like another branch of shitty Republicans. Sorry. We need like an environmental party, you know, a green party. That would be like a true, you know, something different.
Right.
The Democratic Party is.
Well, the Democratic coalition is so. Like, the Democratic caucus in general is so big. It's such a big tent party. It really, truly is. Like, they can never get on the same page about anything, right? So, like, it would be nice if we could have, you know, different factions that then had to work together. I don't know.
Right.
All the infighting. Like, I know that Republicans too, as we're seeing every poll that comes out, right? Like, there are definitely Republicans out there that are like, fuck Donald Trump, we don't want this. But then you have the Republicans that are like, but I still want this agenda. No, I still can't take this. And like, it goes, like, it also trickles down, but they are really good about like teamwork and getting on the same team at the end. Whereas
they sure did all jump on that Trump train, even though they sure all were opposed to him.
Right, because Republicans are better at being strategic thinkers than they are about living and dying by their morals. Whereas,
less morality.
Would be
less emphasis on morals, more emphasis on money.
But I think that there would be
strategy. Like, how do we get what we need, and what sacrifice do I have to make so that we get where we get the power we ultimately seek.
Right, but I think that there would
less
be
emphasis on morals, more emphasis on money and power. Yeah.
I suppose that is just like we're talking around the same thing.
Rose said Colleen for president, and that might be the new episode title. Okay, moving on. This one's fascinating. Amelia Earhart didn't crash. She was shot down by the Japanese because she was taking spy photos for the U.S. government. The timeline and geography make sense, and other aviators of the time were approached with similar missions.
I believe that. I also just love the theory that she didn't die in the crash and like washed up on some island in the South Pacific and lived out the rest of her life there. Like, I love that conspiracy theory.
Yeah, that is a good one. You know, they found her bones, right? Last year, 2 years ago, a couple years ago?
I don't know, but then the year before that, someone found a picture that like confirmed that she survived on this island. So, you know.
That's part of the conspiracy.
So, like, who's to say for certain?
Words for thought. Okay. This next one I kind of love. Something crazy big living inside of the ocean like a kraken-sized organism. We have just explored 5% of Earth's ocean, and while 5% of visible universe has already been researched simply due to the fact that the ocean would have immense pressure way below, there's a chance that whatever lives there would be quite strong. Humans have always found crazier and scarier marine life while going deeper into the ocean, and the fact that we are investigating way more to get out of the earth than to explore it isn't making any sense to me. Why are we so eager to leave? All caps locks. Probably because our planet is dying because we keep not treating it well.
Right, because we're kind of burning the planet. And if the pressure is such that like we couldn't live under the ocean.
We also just have the mentality of just like throw it away. So like we've fucked up this earth, so just like instead of actually fixing it, just throw it away and like try to get to a different one. But seriously, 5% of the ocean?
I don't know if that's true. This conspiracy theorist says it's true. I don't know if that's true, but I don't know. We found the Titanic, so that's the thing that happened.
So I mean that's your 5% right there. That's it. We've done it. We've done all the things.
Oh.
The Titanic, we've got this pirate ship. We're done.
Kayla just said, be right back. Gonna go mediate virtually with my friend real quick. Okay. Meditate. Sorry. I originally read this, Kayla, not gonna lie. Gonna go meditate virtually with my real friend quickly. And I was like, fuck you, I'm your real friend.
It's like, fine. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, I was really pissed at first. I was like, I thought we were friends, but okay, clearly not. Very glad to have misread it while we're reading our Reddit thread.
Man, I'm still thinking about the ocean. It's true. Like, I don't know the actual percentage. We would have to fact check this conspiracy theorist.
All right.
They are a conspiracy theorist. Right. But, it's definitely true that
5% is true.
5% is true.
I just Googled it.
Dude, that's so next to nothing.
Which means, guys, the Little Mermaid could exist.
I think there is stuff. Well, obviously, there's stuff down there that we don't know about because we haven't been down there. But I would agree. I don't know if it's going to rise up and kill us, and we need to leave. But I would agree that there could be something very large living in the ocean that we don't know.
But
about.
how amazing that there's like just
that is amazing. The same with space, right? Like, how could we be alone? Like. How could we be alone everywhere? Like, there's got to be more.
I can more easily wrap my mind around the fact that there's so much of the universe that we don't know for whatever reason. Maybe because I can, see
because the universe is infinite, but
a little bit. Mm-hmm. But to think that within our planet, there's so little that we've explored in the ocean. That's just mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling. Maybe that's the next great frontier. All right, this next one is. The identity of Jack the Ripper was known to the police. He was actually detained and questioned by police before being released. I've heard this conspiracy before.
I've heard this one.
He then left the country before they could rearrest him. Scotland Yard then covered their failure, which snowballed into one of the biggest serial killer conspiracies in history. This is supported by the fact that 132 years later, they are still withholding the case files and decline all Freedom of Information applications as the files, quote, may have an impact on living persons, unquote. I've heard
there's a million reasons that they could be withholding them.
Well, I've heard the conspiracy that they actually knew who it was, or they questioned him and figured it out, and it was like a rich person or a politician or something. I've heard that from time to time. So, which is, not crazy. Probably most likely.
Exactly. It's totally plausible.
This next one. Oh, shit. This next one is crazy. You ready? Okay. Poor U.S. coronavirus response equals mass deaths for middle-aged to elderly equals insolvent Social Security gets a large reprieve as they don't have to extend benefits to all those who would have drawn them equals I fixed Social Security. That one's kind of fucked up.
Well,
meaning they're letting the old people die because they don't want to have to pay them their $600 a month anymore.
Right, that's what I thought you meant. So
That's-
why are they writing this so cryptically?
No, that's not what I meant. That's what Reddit meant. But yes.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't put it past the current administration to take credit for fixing Social Security because of such reasons. But, like, the current administration is not smart enough to think that through, even though there may be evil enough to do that.
100%. Yeah.
You know, that's a good point, but it only takes one former George W. Bush administration official who, like, is competent enough to, like, you know, help that get set up. I mean, Stephen Miller is like...
They've learned at the knee of Dick Cheney. They know.
Stephen Miller is whiteboarding this shit, but, like, who knows if he can actually, like, make it happen, Captain. Who knows, though? Never underestimate the evilness of an evil person.
Of an angry white male.
Who is also evil. Let's see. One more. I gotta get a good one. I gotta find a good one. Scrolling. Does anybody in the chat have anything? Oh, Got had to run. Have a great night, everybody. Good night, Got. We should have asked you about your Pete, almost said Pete Wentz, your Pete Buttigieg call while I had the chance. Oh, well. Live Zoom. Be there or be square. Matt Lives TV says this requires a competency that Trump can't get on board with. Okay, here's one. This is a new and recent one that actually could be true. Kim Jong-un is dead. We haven't seen him in months. His sister is running the show. The last time we saw him, it was from pictures released by the government that couldn't be proven to be new. He's either dead or in a vegetative state.
I could buy that.
That actually, out of all the ones we've heard, the sea creatures one and this one could be true. Because remember, it was like a month or so ago with Kim Jong-un stuff. Honestly, time is just so crazy. He showed up at the whatever, and I don't know, maybe he has shown up at more things, and we're just American, so it doesn't...
Right, we're too busy talking about COVID, and like we've had other things going on.
Yeah, you know, we're too busy trying to kill ourselves versus foreign leaders.
The house is on fire here. We can't be looking at other people's front yards.
Yeah, which we should, which is also a really big problem. I don't know.
Might learn something.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, like everything that's going on. And I meant to bring this up at the start of the show, and we can stop here and take our commercial break in a second. But like, I feel like the second half of 2020 is actually going to be like 2020, like fighting back. Like we've had over the last few days, the intel report that Trump knew about the Russian. That Putin offered a bounty to Afghani soldiers to kill Americans. And then, you know, they were like, he was never briefed on that. And everyone was like, oh, he was briefed on that. And then, like, the British intelligence and whoever else was like, yeah, no, this is true. Because he was like, well, it's not credible. It's not credible. My best friend Vlad wouldn't do that. Like, no, that's not right. And everybody else was like, no, that's right. So, I don't know, just... between that and, you know, again, like I joked about this at the start of the show, like finding out that like Claudia Conway is like a big liberal, right? But like just, you know, I don't know, seeing that she has like daily like arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor things on her TikTok, I'm like, maybe the kids are all right. And the fact that like...
but really though, arrest the cops that murdered Breonna Taylor.
Yeah,
let's put too fine a point on that, but
look,
come on.
Yeah,
those a-holes are still walking free. That is not right.
Not right. Woo! Speaking of walking free,
Fiona is fired up about this.
She really is. She is pacing. She is pissed off.
All right,
Black Lives Matter. Meow.
Yeah.
Yes. Cats for Black Lives.
No. She's saying Black Lives Meowder.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny, right?
It was funny.
All right. On that note, everybody, let's take a quick break. We do not have a whole lot of feedback, so we should not take a lot longer when we come back.
Fifi, what is up? You want to go outside, don't you? Come here. This is what
I'm typing into my laptop to try to pause the computer. And it has its own keyboard. And I'm like, why isn't it stopping? Click, click, click. Okay, we're going to move the laptop back.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
Break starts now. All right, we are back. I guess it is time for listener feedback. Our first question is actually from JP in the chat. Shandy and Amanda, have either of you used the Nike Run Club app? I'm on my 6th week of running and love it.
No.
I have not.
I use the ASICS one. What is it? I think it used to be like Map My Run, I think.
Oh.
Run Keeper.
I use my watch.
I use
Tom. And then I also have a milestone pod on my shoe, which also has an app and like gives me other data. And then I know like all the cool kids now are using Strava, and I resisted it for a long time. And then when I did that virtual relay, like that was one of the ways that you could track your miles. So I downloaded it for that. It really freaks me out. So as soon as the relay was over, I deleted everything from it. And
why does it freak you out?
Yeah, what's freaky about it?
So it's like social media for running.
Oh.
So like, I mean, of course you can decide like who gets to, if your runs are public or not, or if it's just the people following you who get to see them, or if nobody gets to see them, but still it's like, it's this app. And I know we all do this to a certain extent, just by virtue of having phones, but
yeah.
It's like this app that is tracking all of your movement, potentially showing it to people. Like, again, there are people on Strava who are just like have public profiles, and it's like anyone can see the routes that you run. Like,
Ooh,
you could get murdered.
Ooh,
but
yeah, no.
on the upside, if you get murdered, everybody will know where you were.
True. That's true.
Oh, it's double-edged sword.
Yeah, it's a real double-edged sword for me. I do not like people to have that much information about me, just in general. And then, like, even, like, people in my entourage, much less, like, randos. Like, no, thank you.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like the record to reflect that I dropped a bunch of strawberry-flavored gummies. What are they? The fruit snacks, rather. Not because it's going to make my drink taste like it, but just because they're going to taste like my drink in an hour when we're done.
Also fair.
Nice.
Yeah. I've gained so much weight during COVID that I'm trying to like, cut back on everything that I eat and drink in general. Just, trying to be more moderation than I was for my first 3 months of it. 2 months of it.
I fucking hear you.
Yeah, I feel like the first couple of months was like eating and drinking because I had those bagels every day. And then I got the eating under control, but I was still kind of drinking too much. And then I got the drinking under control, but like substituted that with the eating. So now I feel like I need to go on like it's not about substituting calories, Colleen. It's just about like eating better at what you're eating.
That's fair. I don't have a scale, so I have no idea if I've gained weight. All my clothes seem to fit fine, but I also don't wear anything that has a zip fly that often.
That's just it. I hadn't worn pants for a very long time, and then when I did, I was like, oh, these do not fit the same anymore.
Mm-hmm. When I do put on pants, they still fit, so I feel like I'm okay.
That's a win.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I do find I'm actually probably healthier in quarantine. I'm making all my own meals, and I like vegetables. So, like when I cook, like I cook vegetarian 99% of the time. So I do find that, and I have more time to exercise. So I do find quarantine has been a good thing for me, like health wise. I
actually really enjoy working from home. Okay. Facey back. Happy birthday to Dan. We did that already. Check. Talking about what the fuck TV show is it? Matt, why didn't you include this?
Oh, it was Handmaid's Tale.
Thank you. Okay, talking about Handmaid's Tale, Matt says, I saw somewhere that they were only in production for 2 weeks when things shut down.
Yeah, so they shot like 2 scenes of the first episode.
And you know what? That scene also happened to include "Long Live the Squad." So,
True. Actually,
no, blessed.
They're shooting an episode a week. Then they've probably shot maybe 2.
Blessed be the squad.
Episodes.
Yeah. Okay. Next thing is from Dennis, and Dennis says advice from people over 50 to people 10 to 30.
Which before you begin, my question is, what do the people between 30 and 40 do?
We have to figure it out, Snowflake.
Yeah. Yep.
By the way, I got into an argument. You know how I try to like stay neutral on certain social medias. Like Twitter is where I unleash. I try to stay very good on Nextdoor, on Facebook, but like Twitter is like where my anger goes to fester. And like Twitter Colleen is a very different Colleen than Facebook Colleen and Nextdoor Colleen and any other social media Colleen, because like Twitter is generally my safe space, right? And there are times where like, you know, I'll wake up the next morning and I'll like delete a tweet because I'll be like, okay, you sound you sound angry, but like I just get so angry in the moment where I have like that's where my, you know, that's where I go to whatever, blow off steam, which I feel like, you know, that's healthier than other things to blow off steam that are not healthy. But I actually ended up getting into a fight with somebody on Nextdoor who was like, sheeples, you guys want to wear masks and you want to hide in the basement with Biden. And I was just like, you are fucking crazy. And I, like, at one point it was like, masks are political. And he was like harassing our neighbors. And they were, like, all getting bent out of shape and, like, freaking out at him. And I was just like, they're not political because literally my entire family votes for Trump and they wear their masks out in public. So it's not political. It's only political if you want it to be political. It's not political.
Yeah, but seriously, this is like, I was talking to some people, some friends in France, and because we're talking about, like, I was posting some things about masks and how it's just like so stupid that some people are not wearing masks. And somebody, like one of my friends asked, like, what is it like in Europe right now? And so some of my European friends chimed in. And one of them was like, yeah, we're like, nobody here would politicize it. That's crazy. And we are watching what's happening in the United States, and it looks like a madhouse. It's like,
it is a madhouse here. It is a madhouse here.
Very accurate. And that's why I started like, I wish that people on the right wing could feel shame, because I'm convinced that they can't. Yeah. But because if they realized and actually cared that the rest of the world thinks that they are fucking clowns, like, maybe they would be inspired to change.
I think that some of them are starting to feel it. I do. I think that's 2020 is starting to strike back. Genuinely, like with the Lincoln Project, the bigger and bigger that they get, I think that it empowers more Republicans to speak out, to be like, we're not alone. And I think that is really, because we talked about like just earlier about the hive mind and the way that they can like coalesce together. And I think that prominent people telling them that it's okay to vote for Joe Biden and to call bullshit on this. Like, this isn't
okay to have a backbone. And
yeah, it's okay. Like, this isn't conservative principles. This is actually just a fucking crazy person. And like, I think there's a mutual understanding between those people and the left that, yeah, we're all going to be enemies again, like come January 2021. But like, we all need each other right now, because we are like, I am grateful for the people that realize like this could be the end times. So let's like,
we don't have to be enemies. Like, we don't like.
And also just with the intelligence stuff this weekend, like the Russia thing, like we talked about earlier, and you know, the reports saying, oh no, they knew as early as 2019, or the report that the intelligence community actually deems his calls with foreign leaders, his being Donald Trump, I hope I don't have to explain that, those calls actually being national security risks. Like, that's a big deal. And the fact that more things keep leaking every single day, and who knows what's going to leak by the end of, before this comes out. I think we're at the breaking point for a lot of people where the bureaucrats strike back. I think the bureaucrats are about to strike back, and I hope the second half of 2020 is better than the first half.
Fingers crossed.
I think it will be. I think enough people have had enough across the board, I think.
But the thing that we do need to worry about is that there are people that generally don't pay attention to politics other than headlines. They pay attention to headlines, and they think that Joe Biden is just as bad as Donald Trump. And they might vote for Trump again because they think that Biden is a child molester because that's what the right is propelling. Or they think that he's just as bad as Trump, so you might as well vote for somebody that's blah, 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 blah. And that's dangerous. I have literally...
The percentage of people is
I have literally spoken to several people via Facebook and real life who think that Joe Biden is molests little girls and they can't vote for him.
Right, but polls, and I mean, yes, take a grain of salt. We really don't want to go down the rabbit hole of trusting polls all that much. But, you know, Trump's approval rating is like what? I think Biden is up over... Is he at 50% yet? He's at like 51.
So Trump had his
which is a larger margin of error than Hillary had in 2016, which is why I feel like a lot of pollsters are saying it's okay to like trust it a little.
No. He has a higher margin than Hillary.
I don't think I don't think.
What'd you say? Sexism, I know. We don't have to go into that part.
No,
but
I won't trust yes, sexism, but I won't trust the polls until after the election.
I'm not going to trust anything until after the election.
I mean, like, I won't be able to breathe easy until after the election. But I like, even like less radical conservatives I've heard say that Trump's response to the coronavirus did not make it worse, which is insanity to me. And
because conservative media is very slowly... Like, they're methodically saying it's China's fault, and it's like, yeah.
I mean, how anyone
sure.
believe that was beyond me a couple months ago.
Right.
Hopefully that's not still the case, but like, if people literally, I mean, and those are like the never maskers also, but even people who wear masks, like even people who aren't as radical have said those kinds of things. So I have to wonder.
It's stupid to me, the people that claim it's against the Constitution that also want to vote for Trump. And, like, I got into a fight with a Jay and Jack listener, actually, because he was like, we don't have any right to ask people to wear a mask. It's against the Constitution. Nancy Pelosi is the devil. She wants to take your rights away. And I'm like, motherfucker, shut up. Just shut up. Shut the fuck up. Like, that is what I see. That is what I feel when I hear somebody, like... be anti-mask because it's freedom. You don't have the freedom to fucking kill me. So with your fucking germs.
It doesn't surprise me, but the fact that these are all white people making these claims. But
Always.
It's like, I'm sorry. Do you feel inconvenienced? Do you?
I know. You're right.
Oh, that's nice. Please extrapolate how you feel inconvenienced by having to wear a mask. If that is the hardest thing you have done in your entire white life.
Okay, let's finish this up. Okay. Matt switch. This whole thing started because of Dennis. Sorry, Dennis.
It's a long, strange journey this has been.
It's literally been a 20. Yes, it's been 20 minutes of tangent. I have to cut so much things out. 20. We were not. We are at 125 right now. We were barely at an hour when we started this.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Dennis says, turns out all the things your mother warned you about are really important. They are, don't slouch or your back will pay for it. I agree. Don't sit so close to the TV or screen because your eyes will go quickly. Yeah.
Fucking seriously.
I have horrible headaches at least 3 or 4 times a week because of my eyes. It's very frustrating. Turn the music down. Hearing aids are expensive. Eat your fruits and vegetables. Being regular is nice. It is. It really is. I feel like being regular is nice might have to be a contender for episode.
I mean, that isn't what immediately comes to my mind about why one should eat their fruits and veggies, but hey.
Me too.
It's an added bonus.
Side effect, yeah.
I literally feel the only reason you're going to eat your vegetables is because extra ranch or hummus and pooping. Brush after every meal. Don't run with sharp objects. Don't talk back to your mother. You never forget how to ride a bike. No, she was wrong here. That's not true. As we talked about last week, I went with Zach. We did the bike riding thing. He learned how to do it pretty good. And I also remembered how to ride a bike pretty good. Vicky said, what was the name of the running podcast you mentioned again? And it is actually called We'll Run For ... And then we got Matt's What She Says. And then we've got an Andy update. And then we are going to get Amanda to bed before midnight. All right, Matt's What She Said. Here we go.
To finish.
We stopped doing it.
We had 6 or 7 of us, and we always rotated.
We're almost a whole hand.
I'm in. I'm here. Let's do it.
By the way, time out. I called the last episode almost a full hand because our very first episode was almost cougars, and then we were almost cougars for 144, and then I was like, oh my god, the symmetry. Yeah, we could be, almost a full hand.
Almost.
I know, I'm really funny. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Some people can naturally do it.
I can't put it down.
That was my thing too.
It's small, but whatever. I don't care. I love it.
I have no idea how to work the gears.
I don't know if that was supposed to happen.
You can plug it in places.
There was an overflow section.
Can we do both?
I'm still half getting what I wanted.
There were some days that it started as early as 2 in the afternoon.
Cheers. I did get the biggest thing.
Oh boy, here it is.
They're super not done.
That was in there.
I'm super pumped.
All right. One more thing. We've got one more email, and that is from Andy, and that is this week in Andy's social distancing. So we actually talked to Jacob, and he is going to make us a broadcast logo with the mask, and I feel like a whole bunch of merchandise with hashtag I'm 6 feet from hers.
I like that. I think that's what this year's
yes.
needs to be.
I mean, this year could have multiple merchandise, but
that's fair.
I feel like that's pretty good. All right, let's finish up with the email from Andy, and then we will get Amanda to sleep before midnight.
All right, Andy writes in, hey broads, as I promised last time, here's some stuff I found about how COVID-19 is affecting dating life. And he sends a New York Times article. Details a lot of changes and precautions the New York City Health Department has put out. Sends a PDF also from the New York City government website. And talks with some single people to see how they're implementing changes like wearing a mask during sex and practicing social. Just like, isn't there? I mean,
if you're already that close.
I know. Hold on, Kayla's back. What did I miss? COVID sex.
Oh yeah, someone else fill her in, guys. We do not have the time.
Okay, so it talks to some single people to see how they're implementing changes like wearing a mask during sex and practicing social distancing if you meet in public. While I can't say wearing a mask for my first time is super appealing, I obviously would do the responsible thing if I were to find myself being intimate during the pandemic.
It's one hell of a fucking story.
It really would. Besides, I'm a ways from sex being a possible outcome in my social interactions. Andy sends another link from BBC. While we've gone over how seeing a sex worker wouldn't be the right choice for me, obviously it is for a lot of other people. And this was an article I found interesting. And there's some more in a more recent article from Vice talking about sex work during coronavirus in Spain. Another article I can't find, but I came across a few weeks ago, was about a woman in her early 30s who wants to have children, lamenting that she's lost a year at a crucial time. She's still got time. But legit, while I'm so far off from having kids that the idea hasn't really been an issue for me, it is a bigger issue in women because the window for having kids is a lot smaller than a man's. But also, I could relate to losing a year of potential dates because the older I get, the harder it is for me to shake off the idea that this just isn't going to happen for me. Now I know I still have time and who knows what will happen going forward, so I shouldn't throw in the towel yet. But it's still frustrating that I got to deal with these delays. Of course, this is very low on the awful things the pandemic has done. Don't get me wrong. But still, I think everyone's frustrations with this infuriating situation are valid. Yeah, no, that's totally true. I shouldn't have downplayed that woman's frustrations.
Yes. You know, clearly some frustrations are bigger than others involving like life or death. But like everybody's feelings are valid. Like that's the point.
Totally.
Like,
everyone's lost things and it's totally valid. And I'm sorry that I brushed off her comment. Andy sends another article from health.com and says, well, at least I know I'm not alone in not getting any these days, even with people quarantining as a couple. Oh, now I want to click on that link. Sorry, I didn't send these earlier, so you could read them and pick out the parts you want to discuss on the show tonight, but maybe they can be fodder for future shows. Hashtag I'm 6 feet from hers, Andy.
All right, Andy. So I did open the why you weren't having as much sex during quarantine. 50% of people in a poll of roughly 11,000 has said that coronavirus has negatively affected their love life.
But it reminds me of something that I read early on in a French news source.
Yes.
That was sort of exploring the same question. And, for some people, it was like a time where they sort of like rediscovered each other as a couple and were like trying new things and, all of that sort of like, productive times, like that sort of line. But then other people were just like not feeling like having any sex at all. And then they kind of like, got into like the reasons behind like each response, and like all responses are valid. And yeah, like we might be feeling sort of like depressed and stressed out, and all of that stuff has an effect on your libido. Not to mention if you're the person that you're having sex with, like, okay, maybe they're your long-term partner, but now you're seeing them like literally 24 hours a day, all day, every day.
Right. That's also a lot.
Positive or negative effect. But no, it was interesting. What do I have to say about that?
I will include the links to everything that Andy talks about in the show notes. So if anybody wants to read it, and of course we would always appreciate your feedback to everything. So the broadcasters3@gmail.com is our best email, or you can give us a call, 331-276-2373. We would love to hear from you. We've got a Facebook group. We've got everything. Like, you can find us in many places. But we appreciate you listening as always. And that's about it. Thank you to the patron that contributed at that level, and that would be Tack from Tokyo, Eckhart Richter, Maggie the Magnificent, Greg the Gray, Joanne with a Plan, and the Creepy Mailman. Thank you guys so much. We super appreciate it. On that note, does anybody have anything else? Otherwise, we will let you all go.
Nope.
I'm here.
All right. Well, everybody, our American listeners, have a very happy 4th of July weekend in place. I will talk to you guys all. We will talk to you all on July. What did I say? Was it July 15th? July 14th.
14th.
We will talk to you guys on July 14th via Zoom. Be on the lookout for that. And be on the lookout for the broad topics discussions. And then we will have a specific date and time of the month and everything. All of that will be posted on social media. We'd like to get that started sooner rather than later. If you have any topics for that, send that to us on any of the social medias. And yeah. All right. Well, on that note, everybody, thanks for playing. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.